Leon, who is from the anti-corruption or anti-human trafficking NGO. Can Hillary please come to the front and just educate us a little bit more about human trafficking? What role can we play as an airport to prevent human trafficking? What are the signs that we can look out for when we see a young lady who is uncomfortable walking around with a man that they are not comfortable with, yet you don't do anything. You just keep quiet and say, maybe they just passing through the airport. So ladies and gentlemen, can you please give a round of applause to Hillary, who will tell us about human trafficking and how it affects our country. Please give a round of applause.
This location is symbolic. Airports are places of movement, opportunity, and creation. By this, they can also be points of vulnerability where corruption and human trafficking intersect. Today I want to speak about the nexus, the dangerous link between corruption and anti-human trafficking and share how Africa is working tirelessly to combat trafficking, gender-based violence, and femicide in relation to corruption. My colleague from Human Trafficking Safety and our president just declared GBVF a disaster, a national disaster. So that it means they've got to put all the resources, as much resources as possible to prevent and to break these cycles and to eradicate. Right? So that's our first step right now that we, and this is part of it. Human trafficking is a complex form of gender-based violence, so don't think that it doesn't form part of that. And that's what people often are confused about. So I just want to be clear. Human trafficking is a complex form of gender-based violence. Unfortunately, it targets gender. It is an organized crime. You world. The nexus between corruption and human trafficking. Corruption is not just a financial crime, it is a crime against humanity. It is the oxygen that allows human trafficking to thrive. When border officials accept bribes, traffickers move victims across borders undetected. When law enforcement officers turn a blind eye, perpetrators operate with impunity. When corrupt practices infiltrate procurement and service delivery, resources meant for survivors are diverted, leaving them without support. Human trafficking is one of the most lucrative criminal enterprises in the world. It generates billions of dollars annually, but it cannot exist without corruption. Corruption enables traffickers to falsify documents, manipulate systems, and silence whistleblowers, as we have seen just very recently when a whistleblower was shot in his own backyard. The nexus is clear. Corruption fuels trafficking and trafficking deepens corruption. Together they erode trust in institutions, weaken the rule of law, and destroys lives. Let us be clear. Corruption is not victimless. Understand that. Corruption is not victimless. Every bribe taken, every law ignored, every official compromised translates into a child trafficked, a woman exploited, a man exploited, a young boy exploited, a young girl exploited, a community breakdown, and a baby even exploited. The human cost. Behind every statistic is a human story. A young girl promised a job abroad only to be sold into exploitation. So we see a lot of that happening. Your Middle East, your Myanmar, your Russia, that have taken place. A boy and people coming into the country as well. Your Ethiopians, Malawians, many of those are victims of forced labor, false job promises. Zamazamas, same thing. A lot of cases, those people have been trafficked into the country and forced into the Zamazama situation. A boy recruited under false pretenses forced into labor. A woman seeking justice for gender-based violence, only to find her case dismissed because corruption has silenced the voice. Too much of that is happening in South Africa in particular, and because I live here. It happens globally, but I'm focusing on the country of my birth. Corruption denies survivors the justice they deserve. It denies communities the protection they need, and it denies nations the progress they strive for. So yes, our economic backbox multi-sector collaborations, like the one we have here with our Tambo and AXA. Legal, health, law enforcement, civil society, and regional networks cause corruption and trafficking cross borders, and so must our solutions cross borders. Survivor-centered approach is very important to ensure survivors are not re-victimized by corrupt systems. We advocate for transparent referral pathways, fair access to justice, and accountability in service delivery. Police engagement, work with governments and regional bodies to strengthen anti-corruption frameworks that directly impact trafficking and GBV and their cases. Act Africa is set on the wall of the Helping Commercial Trafficking in Persons Task Team. So we are one of the civil societies that are part of that task team, which is headed by the Department of Justice. So that's just one of the things, and our partnership we have too with the provincial legislature, where we throughout the year have been doing campaigns against trafficking across Gauteng from east, west, south, north. Act Africa was founded on the belief that Africa can lead the fight against trafficking and corruption. 25% of the trafficking globally stems from Africa. South Africa is a hot spot within Africa. We are a transit, we are a destination, and we are a place where we go to as well. So, as I said, we founded on the belief that Act Africa can lead the fight against trafficking and corruption. We are building resilient communities, informed citizens, and accountable institutions. Why do airports matter? Our Tambo International Airport is not just a venue today. It is a front line. Airports are transit points where trafficking often occurs. Corruption at these points can mean the difference between a victim being rescued or disappearing into exploitation. Please note the signs when you see somebody not dressed appropriately for the weather as one example. You can see that the speeches are rehearsed. They don't keep their own documents. And when that child approaches a one other thing, when there is a one-way ticket and somebody tells you it's a school leaver, especially, I am going for a job overseas, please do your double check and call Dirko to find out if that job is valid, who will be saving a life. Please therefore, I urge you to make that part of your policy. A one-way ticket, one of the signs. In your lounges is often where your traffickers will try and divert things and go and sit with the victims, but you will see that they are controlled. You will see from their action. Please also another thing, if somebody comes to you with a suitcase, and I'm speaking to parents and encourage them, please don't say yes, I'll hold on to your suitcase for you. You don't know what's in that suitcase, and the next thing security comes to you, and you must please explain. No. Tell them to take the case to security and let security hold it for them. You'll see they won't go to security. So, corruption. Airports are transit points and trafficking often occurs. Corruption at these points can mean the difference between a victim being rescued or disappearing into exploitation. By holding this commemoration here, we send a powerful message. Corruption will not pass through our gates unchecked. Trafficking will not move freely across our borders. South Africa and Africa as a whole will stand vigilant. Call to action for each and every one here. As an individual, as a company, as an organization, whether you government or not, here is the call to action. This is what we must do. For government, strengthen anti-corruption laws, enforce accountability, and protect whistleblowers. This is why often we don't want to speak out. Right within our force, in our SACs, in our law enforcement, securities are scared to speak out. Non-profit organizations, all of us are scared to sit with information, but because our lives are in danger, we then say, no, we would rather your information, our lives are not in danger. Law enforcement refuse complicity. Resist bribery and abuse the dignity of every human being. For civil society to continue to raise awareness, mobilize communities, and demand transparency. For citizens, speak out, refuse to normalize corruption, report suspicious activity, let us protect one another. You are your brother's keeper. You are your sister's keeper. Today it's happening to somebody else. Tomorrow it will happen right on your doorstep to you, and then you want to wake up. Not then, it's too late. Let us Ubuntu, we speak Ubuntu, let's practice it. Corruption is a choice. Integrity is also a choice. What are you going to choose? And every choice we make either enables trafficking, violence on the home, or prevents it. In closing, on this International Anti-Corruption Day, let us remember, corruption is not abstract, it is the trafficker's passport, it is the abuser's shield, it is the silence that allows exploitation to continue. But together, we can break the cycle. Together, we can build institutions that are transparent, accountable, and just. Together, we can create a continent where corruption no longer fuels trafficking or GDF or any form of violence, and where every child, every woman, every boy, every girl, every man, every community is safe. ACT Africa stands ready to continue this fight. Our stance is 16 days of activism with 365 days of activism. This 16 days is just to highlight what we do 365 days of the year. So, ACT Africa stands ready to continue this fight with you, with governments, with communities, and with survivors. Let us commit today at this airport, at this gateway to Africa, that corruption will not define us, integrity will, justice will, humanity will. Thank you for listening and for standing with us in the fight. Keep safe and God bless. Have a very blessed and safe festive season.